Hey guys, it's Lord Firesword. I keep hearing the same questions in Fire Forests and other areas where there's a lot of newbies because Starbreak has gotten massively bigger lately thanks to going on Steam Greenlight, as you can see right there. Vote for it, by the way, if you enjoy it. This game is amazing and deserves all the attention it can get. But because we keep hearing these same questions, I'm going to try and run through most of them real quickly, get everything handled, and make sure that you knew what you're doing when you go into your first game of Starbreak, okay? Here we go. So when you first start one, you're going to be playing this character here in the tutorial. He's an ancient, easily the most powerful shell you will see in the game. Sadly, you will never see him again. This is your only shot with him. So, might as well make it last while we can. Here we go. Controls are pretty simple. That's actually what it's telling you here. I have it bound to my number keys, but you're supposed to use the arrow keys to move left, right, up, down, that kind of thing. And then ASDF is your other controls. You can only see two of them here though. D, well, we'll get to that when we come to it. For now, F jumps you, or space jumps you. Either one will get the character off the ground. A is your interact button. Anytime you come to a chest, thing in the wall, door, whatever. A is what you use to interact with it. A is also what you use to pick up. Okay? Now, if you've got multiple pieces of gear to pick up, Tab is what you're going to use to open your inventory. Right now it's pretty empty. And over on this left side here, you can see that we actually have our stats listed, as well as our name, deeds, that sort of thing. For now though, let's get going. D is your shoot button, obviously. And this gun is amazing. So we're going to keep going. That's an enemy. Thankfully they trap him to the ground for us, so he is completely and totally harmless. As long as you don't actually touch him. Yeah, he still hurts. There we go. And next room. Okay, teaching us that other button now. We're going to use A to interact again. And we're going to use A to pick those up. Those are grenades. If we look at them, they do a crap ton of damage each hit. They're amazing. But they're not quite as easy to use as a direct fire weapon. See, they fling like that. That's your standard. When you toss, it's going to toss upwards like that. If you're crouched, using that down arrow again, it flings it forward for you. This thing's going to keep refilling me so I can play around all I want. Now let's kill those guys. There we go. There we go. And let's get a refill. That ammo's useful. Jump again. And walk. Walk, 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 walk. Here we go. It's going to teach us this. Okay. This is one that always gives me trouble, which is one reason I do not play this class. You're going to crouch and point your arrow right, like you're moving, and then pull down the trigger. And that'll let you angle the shot. Or you can just drop down there and fight them regularly. Okay. Oh, here we go. Mid-boss. This guy's pretty terrifying, by the way. I would not want to fight him under normal circumstances. Those things hurt. So what you're going to want to do here is, the grenade is actually your best option for killing him. Never mind. The gun kills him just fine. Forget the grenade. I was going to say pop him with a grenade or two, because those grenades basically one-shot him. But if you can just get a few gunshots on him, you're good. Now here's what we were talking about earlier. We picked up a gun, but it's not equipped, and I want that other gun. So we're going to hit Tab to open our bag, and then hover over it, and tap A to equip it. And then bye-bye ancient gun. We don't actually need it. Because take a look at this thing. Oh yeah. Bring it on, guys. Go. Okay. here's this. Darn it, I can't hurt him. Why? Why would you do this to me? I have failed. This is gonna hurt. Yeah, that hurt. So, now that I've died, I'm a spark. You're going to be seeing this little guy a lot. As a spark, you can move like normal, arrow keys to move around, but I ignore gravity entirely. You can just fly. You can't deal damage, can't hurt enemies. Sparks are basically only useful if you want to hang out and help people. How do you help people if you can't hurt enemies, you ask? Well, in Starbreak, the actual number keys, I'll do emoticons, you know. The big ones that you're going to want to know as a spark is, if you're in a boss battle and you die, don't run off. Hang out, and if you see health drop, go ahead and spam it and then fly to it, because people will home in on that, and you may get someone else out alive even though you didn't. Now, this is the wildfire. A ranged shell... Yeah, I'm not going to read it. He's a ranged guy, guys. I'm going to agree that he's the best choice for beginners, though there is some discussion on that. And now, we're going to get to see a Shaton. Or Shatten, not sure how it's pronounced. This is a Shatten. Pretty nice. Pretty good overall. Can't wait to see what this thing does when they get it finished. Anyway, so now that I'm a wildfire, you can see that I look a lot like the Ancient. Like his younger brother. Though if you look at my stats, not nearly so good, not nearly so good. There's just not a whole lot I can do to compete with him. But I've still got a gun, and this one has some spread on it. Pretty nice. Not a lot of damage though. To kill things with this, you're either going to have to hit them a couple of times or pop them once close. You're going to want to either go bam, bam, or... But fair warning, if they're close and you don't kill them, you're going to have trouble. Then I have this frag, okay? Throws like the grenades with that S key. I can throw it forward like that, not as much of an arc. I can crouch and fling it forward, or if I hold the up arrow and pop it, it goes up in a shorter arc. So there's a lot you can do with those. Those bounce around quite a lot. They're pretty fun to play with. Not the easiest things in the world to make. And then you see there's a couple of slots we have the Ancient didn't. We have a special slot, a mobility, a body, and the home. So let's start with special. It's this splash special. So to use it, you're going to use your modifier key, shift, and then touch a direction. And see when I do that, I blast in the direction I pointed my arrow. So left arrow blasts to the left and you move right, because you know, one of Newton's laws kicks you back. I am not a physicist. Ask me about biology or chemistry, I'm okay. Physics, not so much. But anyway, so this is a good thing if you want to pop them and get back. But more importantly, this is just a great way to move around. See, I can't actually jump up there normally, but with blast, I can get a whole hell of a lot closer. Because I'm double jumping there, basically. Or, I can't make the jump over there by myself, but like that, I can land it. And then this last one's not quite as useful, but there are times when you just want to get from up here down to that ground. And if you blast upwards, it's going to push you down crazy fast. Okay? Blasting seems a little bit unintuitive at first, but it gives you some neat tricks. Like, if I'm holding the left arrow key, I'm running left. And then if I hold touch shift, hold it, and tap right, it blasts me right and moves me faster. It's a pretty neat trick. Or if I'm running and need to get above something real quick, you know, there's a lot that can be done. As far as attacking goes, I'd really only use the blast as an upwards attack. There's a few situational uses, but it's not a great weapon. Now, mobility and body are going to be things I can demonstrate here. Mobility is pretty straightforward. It's those boots. If we look here, trackers give me move speed, and wildfires can equip them. I can't afford them, but if I had a set, they'd let me run a little faster. Sometimes they give you some armor. They're pretty sweet. Body side right here gives you some armor. Also pretty sweet. The other thing we have is this home here. That home. Now, this is how you're going to actually get back to your residence. When you tap H, it takes you home to this place. In here, you've got your shells up here. Whenever you die as a spark, once you home, you can get another shell for yourself out of these tubes. At the start, all you've got is wildfire, but you can unlock all 4, so you get options. Down here is a stash. You can put 6 items in here to hold on to them for your next shell. Because remember, this is a permadeath game. So every time a character dies, he's gone. Everything you've got on him is just wiped away. So hold on to some goodies to use on your next guy. Now, where can I... Let's head up this way real quick. I saw a grave open. You are not going to want to run a grave first off. Graves are scary. I just want to die real quick, so I'm going to go in this grave. Now, you see if I try to home, that was a bad example because I forgot about instant homing. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm in here. Let me hang out for a minute. Because when you first join a zone, if you tap H right then, it's instant. It'll get you out, which is good. Because it means if you go in and there's a bad situation, you don't have to be part of it, you can leave. But if you stay in, fight a little bit, grab some money right here, and then decide you want to leave, take a look at that. That's an 8-second timer, and if I move, it's cancelled. I have to be a sitting duck for 10 whole seconds to get home. So don't try and home in the middle of a firefight. Wait and use it when you've got a safe moment to leave. But as a newbie, where you're going to want to go is these things here on these pillars. This is a fire forest. If you look at that difficulty, it's a low. That graveyard up there, I want to say was a extreme. It might be just a very high. Very high, okay. Point is, it will kill you very quickly. So you go to a fire forest. Okay. And see, I've got a guy here I'm running with. Ouch. And stuff will hurt you. So a lot of playing wildfire is backing off when you can. Pop a shot, back off, pop a shot, back off. You've got a little bit of armor and a little bit of HP so you can take some hits. But you want to play kind of rocket tag for a bit. You tap them and you do not let them tap you. See, he's handled. That's an ammo drop. If I throw a frag, I'm down in ammo, it gives it back. Spikes will hurt. They are not fun, don't mess with them. That's a chest. You'll use A to interact with it. There are generally goodies inside. That thing I just grabbed, the blue thing like this, is a stat up. This one's a move speed. When you get stat ups, they go on here. You can see I've got an HP and a move speed. So I've gotten a little bit of stat ups. These tier 1s I can get in any fire forest, so I can get pretty powerful from a fire forest. After that, I've got to go up a tier to Fungus Caves or Vanquished for my tier 2s. And then to Underground Base and Strands, which is an absolute nightmare for my tier 3s. And then finally I get to go back to stuff that I personally find a lot more fun than the Strands, but the Strands is cool. It's just not something I want to risk generally. With the tier 4s, which are Vanquished, not Vanquished, they're Temple and Graveyard. That thing you saw me in originally. Now see, there's a lot of loot on the ground and just nothing for me yet. All loot is shared, so go ahead and pick anything up you see. You're not taking it off anybody. Okay. Now, let's go look at one more thing and I'll finish this out for now. Okay. Now, I mentioned that there's a difficulty next to these. These blue portals are zones. Each one's unique, lots of fun. These red portals are elite versions of zones. In an elite version, which you have to have beaten one of the regular to do, everything hits about twice as hard, and all the gear is 1 tier better. Like, you see my gear right now? It's all stock. There are 4 tiers. I can have up to 4 properties on each one, plus what it starts with. In a Fire Forest, I mostly get stock gear. The occasional 1 property. The boss sometimes gives you a little bit better, same for the mid-boss. In an Elite, everything pretty much is at least got 1 property. Most of it's 2s, and you can go all the way up to 4 properties. So it's just a lot better if you're gonna get gear. But you've got to be good to deal with it. Now, one more thing I want to give you before I end up canceling this out here. When you're playing, right now you've only got this 1 shell unlocked, which is fun, but those 3 other shells are all from 3 different places, and sometimes when you go in, you're not coming back out. So, it's a good idea to know which shell you kind of want to go after, and especially if you're having trouble with Wildfire and aren't sure if you like the game at all, it can be useful to be able to play another shell and find out, hey, it turns out I really like this, so that you can hang in there a little bit. So, I'm putting a link in the chat below me there. Shoot, I can't actually chat. I will put a link in the video. But anyway, this link will take you to... Actually, no, here's what we'll do. If you go to the Crunchy forums, just look up Crunchy forums, it'll get you there. There's a topic titled Open Shells. In there is login information for a couple of characters that anyone's allowed to play. They have all the shells unlocked, so you can try them, see what you like, decide if you like Fabbies like this guy, like Duskwings like this one, or... Come on, tell me there's an Ironclad. Give me a sec, we're gonna find an Ironclad. He's a Fabby. That's an Ironclad, the green and pink thing. If you like Ironclad. Anyway, you can figure out what you want to go for, and kind of focus on that. Alrighty. Have a good one, and actually this may be my only vid. Lord Fire Sword out.